Hi, it's Patrice, and this is Anxiety and Me. Welcome back to my channel. I want to thank everyone for the positive responses from last week. They meant a lot to me. It was my first time posting. I did a Q&A. I figured that was a good place to start, give you an introduction of what my channel would be about. There was a question I didn't get to, and that's what this video is going to be about. So someone asked me what therapy was like, how I found my therapist, if I liked them, etc. For a while, I literally started therapy this year, and my personality, I don't like to ask for help. I want to figure things out on my own, and I thought that I could, but it got to a point that I realized I couldn't. Most of the people around me either didn't validate how I felt, they didn't understand, they didn't know how to respond, or they turned it on them, and that was just really toxic for me on so many levels. I kept going to different doctors and psychologists, all promising the same thing, that they could help me, that I would get better, that they could fix me, and I got really hopeless because nothing was changing. And then I found CompPsych, my mom did, and that place is nice because you can very specifically explain what you need in a therapist, and I, due to past trauma, could not talk to a man, so they were able to give me a woman to talk to. I always had anxiety on the phone, I couldn't call people, but even their front desk is just, they're so nice and respectful and patient, and I found my therapist there. I feel like there's three things that I paid attention to, I guess, three things that I needed, and I think it's a good rule to follow overall, but this is just my opinion. So I would say after the first two visits, you kind of know if you're going to click with someone, and it's not necessarily that they're a bad therapist, it's just not, I went to so many before finding the person that would help me, and the first one is just an introduction and getting to know you, and then the second one, you sort of start talking about things, and that's how I knew after the second visit, because after the first one I wasn't sure and I wanted to change. And I was like, okay, I'll give it one more. And then after the second, I was like, oh, just kidding, she's perfect for me. So we didn't end up changing her. So yeah, I would say after the first two visits, you know if you're gonna click with the person. The second thing I paid attention to is if they validate your feelings, because obviously, I talked about before, that was most important. I needed someone to not make me feel stupid for how I was feeling and just different things that I had gone through. And she validates every little thing, and that's super important for a therapist to do. There was someone even before that didn't do that for me, so that was important to me. And then the third thing was a good therapist to me understands that it's on your time, because when I met with mine, the first thing she said was, you're not going to want to talk about your trauma with me right away, I'm a stranger, so we'll take it at your pace. So I could literally at any point be like, oh, I don't want to talk about this, and she understood that. So patience to me is key, them understanding that obviously it's going to take you time to open up, especially if you have trust issues like me. So I've been in therapy, I want to say since February. It's been, I think things are getting better. For a while there, my body image was horrible, and that's not as bad, but with quarantine, I had to start doing it over the computer, and I was super anxious about that at first. So I was using my essential oils before, and it didn't end up being that bad. I kind of prefer right now being over the computer, just being in the comfort of your own home. So definitely check CompPsych out if that's appealing to you. But yeah, we meet every week, and you set up your appointments with them, and you can meet as often as you want. I started doing it every other week, but that wasn't helpful, so now I'm doing it every week. But therapy is such a good thing. Again, like, bringing light to mental illness and, like, knowing that you're not alone and it's normal. I spent, like, my life around people that, you know, made you feel bad if you needed to ask for help. And that was, like, the hardest thing, because no one should feel bad about that, you know? And then you're attending the funeral of someone, you know, when they could have gotten help. So I think it's important that, like, if someone tells you they need help, like, don't make them feel bad. I don't know how long I'll be in therapy, but, like, it's completely normal. And, like, no one would choose to feel this way. But I guess what led me to this point was I had met, I used to be in the LDS faith, and I had met with my bishop, and he basically told me that all my problems like, centered around social media, like, which wasn't the case, and he had no right to say that. And obviously not everyone is like that. But, like, you know, that's what really made me think too, like, you know, no one can say what you're feeling. And, like, in therapy, my therapist is always saying, like, you came to this spot on your own. It's just, like, that you have to talk it out with someone, but, like, all of your conclusions, like, I'm not saying them for you, like, you're figuring it out. And I think that's super important, that, like, you're not weak for going to therapy. If anything, you're brave, because it takes a lot to admit that you're not okay and that you need help. And that's what I came to realize, and CompPsych has helped me so much, specifically my therapist, Lauren. She is amazing and, like, completely understands me, and yeah, at first it was nerve-wracking talking to a stranger, but, like, she's, like, the best therapist, and it's nice knowing that, like, I found the one that would help me after all these years of feeling like that would never happen. So that's what I have to say about therapy. If you have any other questions about that, I guess just let me know. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, comment, etc., and I will see you guys next week.